Ranganathan is the speaker for this one, and she is the founder and CEO of Au.AI Software Labs, bringing over 27 years of research and development experience across systems, cloud, and artificial intelligence. Over to you, Vidya.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Vidya Ranganathan. I'm founder and CEO at AU Labs. A, okay, a AFS company. I come here with about 27 years of corporate experience, all the way from IBM, Nokia, and Intel with 40 patents. I'm here to share my perspective of building a technology startup right from invention to product. Well, I'm not going to talk about my story here, but to
No.
share the lessons that I have learned through this journey and more. So here's the agenda. The agenda is divided into 4 sections. We are first going to navigate through the journey towards becoming an inventor or making of an inventor. That's the inventor's mindset. And then we transition to the entrepreneur mindset. Finally, we have the frameworks and strategies that help us with this journey and takeaways. To begin with, we go with the innovation mindset. So what exactly is innovation mindset? Today, we are going to have 2 things in our hand. One is patenting on one hand and opportunities on the other hand that will actually make the real world impact. So your practical thinking is your superpower. What exactly is innovation? Well, I'm not going to walk through every bullet in this deck, but walk through some stories and samples as we go through so that our discussion becomes more nicer to grasp. To further navigate, we have 3 terminologies: invention, innovation, and technologies. We need to understand that. Invention is all about creating new stuff. The novelty, the non-obviousness, and creativity falls in place. So if all these 3 falls in place, you have an invention in hand. Innovation is building a platform or a product based on this invention. And then you have the technology, that is a combination of multiple inventions coming into picture to build up a platform or a framework. So the process of converting new ideas into practical reality makes what exactly is the innovation path. I know women inventors are very good at this because they have holistic thinking approach. So why is innovation so hard? And why is it really even important to us? So none of us sitting here or anyone on the planet wants to work on same old stuff. We want new things every day, every minute, and every second. So innovation is the need of the market. We need to grow market demand and find new platforms for new opportunities. And as we innovate, we have disruptions. It need not be essentially disruptions. It can be a combination of disruptive and incremental innovation or inventions. So what exactly is disruption and incremental innovations? When you talk about disruptive innovations, we have smartphones, we have GPS, we have many other things that's been rocking the world around. So these are called disruptive innovations or inventions. And then we have incremental inventions. Incremental inventions can be like a folding umbrella, which means something already existed, but you make an incremental change. So it can be a folding umbrella or a toothbrush that's electric, okay? Or even something simpler. Either may be the case, maybe disruptive, or incremental, you need to explore the blue ocean, not the Red Sea. What exactly does blue ocean mean? Blue ocean is an area or the place where you have plenty of opportunities and it is unexplored. It goes with the time and trend. Let's say, for example, you're thinking of an idea with quantum computing right today. It means that you are ahead of the wave. So quantum computing can take a little more time and then you're ahead of it. If you're thinking of some idea on AI, you're walking with the wave and you're with the trend. And then if you're thinking of something that is behind, already mature, like for instance, operating systems or some other mainframe areas, then it's a Red Sea. It doesn't mean that there are no inventions or no innovative products cannot be created over there, but it means that you need to invest a lot of time to figure out if it's really inventive. It is already mature. In either case, company need to have practical thinking and they need to be very fast. So the first and foremost thing that a path towards inventorship becomes thinking from first principles. You need to think and build stuff for first principles. That is, build things from scratch. Is it essential? Is it mandatory? You might ask. I would say it is not imperatively essential, but it takes you on a different journey from the conventional path. It takes you build products and platforms in an innovative fashion by breaking through barriers, through breaking through constraints, and then arrive at a novel solution. So let me give you an example. So if I ask you, can you build a chatbot for biology entrance exam, okay, NEET entrance exam? Most of them would say, yeah, why not? Just have RAG attached to a large language model, hook it up with Gradio or some front-end tool, and that's it. There you go, you have a chatbot for biology NEET entrance exam. Is it actually solving the problem? Yes, it is solving the problem, going with the current trend, and you have everything in place. But what is the simplest system that works? Would it help me innovate? Okay? The 1990 solution of thinking from first principles or thinking from scratch. Build up a chatbot with client-server architecture. Have a rule-based engine hooked with it, and then perform keyword mapping, have static question answer database, and then a finite state machine. So will this deliver what is expected? Yes, it delivers the requirement, basic requirement without the current budget. As you walk through this first principle journey, you learn a lot of things. And that's exactly what I said just a minute ago. It breaks the conventional path. Having said that, it breaks the constraints and that leads to innovative product. So may it be 1990 expert systems like what I said just now, building a chatbot from first principle, or 2025 large language models, transformers, mixture of experts, much more with generative AI, or something that comes up in 2050, X technology with X innovation and invention. The framework changes, but the thinking does not. Which is why it's very, very important that you change your mindset to build things from scratch. If you build things from scratch, your foundations become very strong, and that automatically leads to building new platforms. So as we transition from inventorship to entrepreneurship, there are two things that needs to be in mind. One is novelty, is the part of the inventorship, and then the entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship doesn't go just with novelty, but you need to think from the client's foot, which means you need to have a very performance and cost effective solution. It needs to be perfectly aligned with the requirements and expectations. So thinking from client's perspective is what exactly going to change and make you one step towards entrepreneurship. So as we discuss about inventorship and entrepreneurship, there's one thing that you need to keep in mind, that invention is not a Midas touch. It means that everything and anything you touch doesn't turn into gold. Invention is also not straightforward. It's a zigzag path. It's random and it needs to be curated very well. What exactly it means is you need to start, practice, experiment, iterate. You might be successful or you might end up blockers, but you need to repeat. So as you repeat this on and on and on, you will definitely end up with the invention path. Here's a break for questions. I'll keep it for the end. So your role as an innovator, you need to understand multiple things. That's first thing from innovator mindset, think from first principles, design simple solutions, have clients in mind, and then execute fast. The two journeys as such, the inventorship and entrepreneurship, are two different paths, but what merged together is the novelty and the business visibility. You need to validate if the customers will pay. You need to focus on market analysis. Your inventorship skills will lead to startup superpowers. So as I said, market viability is very important. When you come up with an idea, first and foremost thing that you need to do is market viability. Is this product existing in the market? What do competitors do with it? How well is my product going to survive in the market, and not just survive, excel in the market? Is the problem real, scalable, and defensible? So we'll talk about it one by one quickly. So when you talk about defensibility, it means that you're protecting your product out of the invention that you have come up with patents. Patents can be applied across the geography in provisional or as full patents. So provisional means you're getting a prior protection date. It remains as the first mark. And then you have the full patent. Can be applied across multiple geographies, United States, Europe, and India. Depends on the kind of area that you're exploring, software or any other, you need to file. And then going back to validating your idea, the decision tree takes you to decide whether you need to first build POC and then discover the customer, or build the customer and then the POC. So I would say a decision tree, as you see here, you need to decide if your product doesn't exist at all. You need to go and build your POC, because customers do not get the full picture without your demo. So in a greenfield product which doesn't exist in market, you build your POC and then start your customer discovery. Otherwise, you can have your customer discovery first as soon as you have your idea and then build the POC. In either directions, what you need to do is take a pause, iterate, because feedback loop makes huge difference. So this is a typical example of how idea POC, customer discovery and POC flows through. In case of a hardware POC that you're attempting to build, your investment may be huge. But in case of a software thing, your investment may be little lesser than compared to your hardware investment. So you can decide on either directions depending upon your idea and platform that you're going to build. As I said, feedback driven is very critical irrespective of the decision tree that you're going to take. You need to build, test, take feedback, iterate, and repeat. Because feedback and repetitive journey over the iteration helps you to fail fast, understand the mistakes, realize, and fix it earlier. Fixing earlier will bring down the production cost. So what's that you have in your hand? The advantage is women inventors have holistic thinking mindset. I know as an inventor working through multiple organizations, I've been thinking with both business and technology all through the projects in a holistic fashion. And practical solving, problem solving is very, very critical. You need to walk through the resilience and constraint and have a collaborative leadership with your clients. So as we reach towards the end of the session, we have the innovation journey here. Identify the real problem. Start thinking from first principles. What if the current technology did not exist? At this point of time, I would like to tell you something very important. There's some quote always heard of. Do not reinvent the wheel. It may not be essentially correct because reinventing the wheel sometimes makes a difference. I'll give you a small example. What if the handset, the telephone handset, remained as is and we never attempted to invent smartphone? We would never have smartphone. This is actually reinventing communication technology, right? And then there are many more examples. What if we just had only vehicles based with petrol? We would never reinvent something moving with electric. So we have the electric car today. So reinvention on any existing platform, existing product can make a difference. I would say you should also think in those lines. And then start thinking with first principles. Design a simplest solution as the decision tree suits you, just we discussed. Consider the constraints, build, repeat, and then validate. Yep. Any questions?
Hello, ma'am. Nice meeting you. I am from Kerala, NSS College of Engineering, and I'm a third year BTech student. So, as you said, I attended this so that I am a student who is very enthusiastic about hardware and love to develop new. Ma'am, could you please repeat? Okay. I am actually an enthusiastic electronics developer who developed this hardware solutions for real world problems. Now I have only currently focused on like a more hardware kind of projects, and I've not now in step into this how to integrate my hardware projects with this AI driven systems. And also I would like you to say some tips or tricks for young innovators, so that people like me who are in their early career phase, so that what are the steps or tips and tricks that we should follow for developing innovative solutions, and also how to integrate it with AI, and how to actually define a problem, and is there any specific steps or process so that we could follow in our design journey which will make us develop impactful project solutions at this early phase, like in my, like I'm a third year student. So yeah, for such young innovators, what can we do?
Okay, my simple advice for all of them um, towards becoming an inventor or becoming uh, expert in any systems, I said go with the current trend. Yes, that's correct. AI. Okay, the current trend is AI, and it's very very critical that absolutely essential that you go with the trend. But jumping or over crossing without the fundamentals is not advisable. I would say, as your journey towards becoming an inventor, an AI expert, or maybe even entrepreneurship, your student journey, your entrepreneur journey, your innovation journey, whatever may be the journey, do not skip points. Okay, your road towards any of this destination should be very very curated. As I mentioned, it's a curated path. You need to actually build up the foundational skills that is essential and then reach your destination. Does it answer your question?
All right. And we are at the end of the session. Thank you very much, Vidya, for a brilliant presentation, which was crisp and also all your insights. We have a giveaway for Vidya, and that's our session chair, Shilpa.